So, Mr. Swaminathan, with all these technologies, and I hope being a very senior person with your eminent Godrej group, you have been involved in various strategy formations also as an input from the auditor. So, with all these technologies available today and the challenges that you have, where do you think like corporates are not able to still use them potentially and control the things?
Well, thank you, Nishit. Two aspects in this question. One is, of course, use of technology. But one basic factor that we always forget is the person who is doing it is a human being. All technology, whatever technology you say, the human brain is still any day sharper, any day more creative than any technology that you put in. The human factor is very, very critical. The most important thing that corporates still face is that there are several areas which are out of the technology domain. Uh, to my mind, in processes, we leave a lot of gaps which is open. Example, if in a location, if there is one person taking all the decisions, then no amount of technology will protect you. He is the guy who is deciding at that moment. And it is his integrity which will decide whether he works in the most ethical manner or in the least ethical manner. And therefore, it has to be a combination of technology, processes, and controls. That, to my mind, is very, very important in ensuring a good ethical climate. The other aspect is relentless tone from the top. For example, in groups like Godrej and of course the Tata groups and many other groups, the tone at the top is extremely strong. You know, there is an absolute zero tolerance. If I have to talk about Godrej, I can tell you that right from Mr. Adi Godrej to down the line, the tone at the top is so strong. You say we have a complete zero tolerance on fraud. We have a zero tolerance on bribery and corruption. We want to be on the right side of the law. We want to be a good corporate citizen. So what is the tone that we set is extremely important down the line. If the ethical climate at the top is something which you doubt, then the whole system is going to be following or emulating what the tone suggests. And therefore it is, so if you look at the whole paraphernalia of the ethical discussion, it starts at what an organization, what a corporate wants to achieve. Even in this kind of an environment, there are corporates which have stood up their neck and said, look, we want to be compliant to the law. We want to be ethical. Right? We don't want to be seen as paying bribes. We want to be, even if it is a matter of delay, we want to fight it out. If it is a matter of principle, we fight it out in courts. That sets the tone across. The other most important thing, if I may say, is once you create this culture of ethics around, you need to constantly keep emphasizing this. Even today morning, I had an ethics dilemma workshop with the team. We do it day in and day out. Any new joinee is taken through a detailed ethical dilemma workshop. If you are in charge of a position where you are going to take decisions, what are all the possible dilemmas that you are going to face in your work atmosphere, and how will you deal with that in that scenario, is very clearly told. Salespeople, if you look at the kind of investigations that we used to do in the past, and when we had this zero tolerance, we used to find number of instances where we sacked salespeople because they invariably falsified the vouchers, they created documents, they got false records from the hotel bills. Then we said, is sacking the right approach? Keep you just keep sacking people, keep recruiting people. The new set of people are going to do the same thing. It is more cultural than anything else. Then what do? Then we said we will roll out these ethical discussions. We'll tell them that this is what we as an organization stand for. This is what you will do, this is what you will not do. And this discussion, to my mind, is extremely important. If you're conveying this as top management to everybody in the organization, then you build in a very, very strong ethical climate. And you work towards, treating the employees, providing them, a right framework to work with. Even policies. See, one of the things that we have been educating our HR, when you make policies, it's typical to, government making various laws where they leave a lot of loopholes for people to misuse. The same thing happens in corporations. We make HR policies which leave a lot of things open. Then when you make the policy, the HR team runs it past us to say, okay, this is the policy that I want to come up with. What are all the possible loopholes that you need to plug? Care also needs to be taken. Are we becoming very bureaucratic in our approach? But then it is safer to be sad than to be sorry. And therefore, it's important that you build that structure, the process, the control, the communication with the team, tell them what is right, and it, to a great extent, helps in mitigating the fraud situations in the country.